It's 5 for Friday on August 14th. I curate out 5 things every Friday that I think are worth weekend reading time for people interested in public sector operations in general and public procurement specifically. So, first, the National Association of State Procurement Officials has a webinar on the 31st on the do's and don'ts of purchasing with FEMA awards. In the webinar, they're going to have John Grigo, who is a program specialist with the Procurement Disaster Assistance Team from FEMA. I also posted earlier in the week that it's 30 days or less than 30 days now until the formal end of COVID and therefore the formal end of emergency and exigency. So these topics are important for FEMA projects specifically, but also more globally, rebuilding all of our muscle memory on processes that we need to be doing when we are dealing with federal funds. This particular webinar is on the 31st. I'm speaking next week in Arkansas on similar topics. So these are definitely topics that people need to listen to. Secondly, NASIO, which is the Chief Information Officers, has had a nice stream of content on the workforce shortages that they're seeing and that state CIOs are experiencing as a key part of public sector operations. They've been bringing consistent attention to the fact that governments are struggling with workforce shortages due to turnover, resignations, retirements, and the tight labor market. In this particular article, they take a look at a short case study from Wyoming and make the case for rethinking service delivery. Third, NASBO, which is the budget officers, also has regular good content, and this time they have one talking about some of the interesting challenges of budgeting when revenue is positive and has been positive for a couple of years, but the economy is flashing mixed signals, and they have a good feel for what the state budget officers are thinking, so it's a good view into that part of the world. Fourth, Government Technology has a nice piece on cyber insurance and that the future is evolving because the status quo is not sustainable. If you're wondering why there's a piece on cyber insurance, I can tell you that if you do any public sector procurements for IT and you are including cyber insurance provisions, you owe it to your stakeholders and to the vendor community to understand the difficulties in this particular type of insurance and how it does in fact change and what it does require, especially of small businesses. So I encourage you to put this on your radar if you are anywhere near that space. And finally, I found an article about Boston's residential collection contract that will expire in June of 2024 and how officials are reconsidering everything to go beyond choosing new contracts based mainly on price. The article talks about some of the difficulties with getting enough vendors and adding fellows to think about different ways of approach. So it's a nice piece that really digs into some of the actual grit and grind of doing procurement strategy at a local level. As I mentioned at the start of the call, I will be heading to Little Rock for a few days of meeting with folks there and speaking at that conference. So if you're attending, please come and say hello, and then planning towards the NAEP event at the end of the month, all preceding an even busier May. So lots going on. Thanks for listening and have a great Friday. Hi, it's Dustin Lanier. Thanks for listening. Please find me on LinkedIn for original public sector operations content every week. And please reach out to me if I and my team of procurement professionals at Civic Initiatives can help you be a public procurement change agent.